Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jeanelle Slade.
And I'm Russ Riesinger. Colstrip Units 1 and 2 will permanently close by the end of this year.
That announcement expected but not anticipated quite so soon, as Talon Energy, the owner of the coal-fired plant in Colstrip, announces its plans surrounding the closure and what's next.
This announcement follows previous plans to keep the units open another 2.5 years.
But in today's release, Talon Montana President Dale Lebsack blames financial challenges, specifically calling out repeated failed efforts to negotiate lower fuel prices with Westmoreland Coal. Now, today's release also states Talon will work to ensure the retirement process is orderly and minimizes the effect on employees, community members, and other key stakeholders. Part
of the plan will look to redeploy affected Colstrip employees to help retire Units 1 and 2 or help with the operation of Units 3 and 4. The company says the primary goal now is to ensure that Colstrip's Units 3 and 4 remain an economically viable source of power to Montana and the Northwest. Well, today, Senator Steve Daines responding to the closure with scathing criticism. He says today's news is yet another example of the devastating impacts of extreme environmental regulations, fringe litigation, and partisan politics. It's truly disheartening to see Units 1 and 2 be forced to close.
And Senator Jon Tester says the abrupt closure is a surprise, but workers are top priority. He says, quote, "I'll be working to make sure Talon isn't leaving workers out to dry and is keeping the community and employees informed about what they can expect in this process. And I'll be holding them accountable for a thorough cleanup of the site."
Well, today's closure, not a total surprise, but the startling reality that the shutdown will happen by the end of this year, well, that's catching people off guard.
Q2's Jay Cohn joins us tonight to put this news in perspective. Jay.
Well, thanks, Jeanelle and Russ. One has to wonder if the final chapter in the history of the Colstrip power plants is being written right before our very eyes. When construction on the first two plants got underway back in the mid-1970s, it definitely ushered in a new era for Montana's energy sector. Now that era may be coming to an end. When Colstrip Units 1 and 2 first went online in 1975, the town of Colstrip boomed, soaring from a population of 2,800 people to 8,000. And with plans in the works then to build 2 additional coal-fired plants, the town of Colstrip's future was bright. The debate, though, ensued who would end up paying for the costly plants, whose price tag had ballooned from $500 million to $1.8 billion. Montana Power Company president at the time, Paul Schmeckel, sounded a familiar refrain, zeroing in on the affordability and dependability of Colstrip power.
You need electricity when you need it, and we can't issue a rain check and invite you back to pick up some kilowatt hours next week.
Fast forward 44 years, and that same argument was front and center during this year's 2019 legislative session. Lawmakers were considering the so-called Save Colstrip bill that would have allowed Northwestern Energy to purchase the plants for a single dollar. Again, affordable, dependable power was Colstrip's calling card. But in the end, the votes weren't there, and the bill failed. Billing Senator Tom Richmond, who sponsored the bill, says the closure announcement today was not unexpected, but says, quote, "There's a big difference between anticipation and reality." And Colstrip Senator Dwayne Ankney says he shares the anger and disappointment over today's announcement. He vows to keep up the fight for the plant's future. Says his first concern is for the people who live and work in Colstrip. Quote, "Our plant is our heart, and I'll do anything and everything in my power to ensure it continues to beat strong." Keep in mind, Colstrip 1 and 2 provide much of the uninterruptible power so important to the largest industrial customers in the state, such as the 3 oil refineries in Billings and the medical corridor. Senator Richmond tells me time will tell if the electrical grid can absorb the loss of those 2 oldest Colstrip plants. That transition, he says, is what he'll be focused on moving forward. Russ, Jeanelle?
All right, thanks, Jay.
Well, the Secret Service already on the ground working with Billings police ahead of the vice president's arrival tomorrow.
Air Force 2 expected to land in Billings just before noon tomorrow, which means heavy road delays and closures as the vice president and second lady move through town.
Q2's Zoe Zandora has details to help you get around.
Yeah, it's going to be a busy day and really 24 hours for downtown Billings as Pence arrives around noon on Wednesday and he begins his day. Now he'll be starting with his first stop at Riverstone Health Center that's on South 27th Street. There will be a barricade made to allow Pence to get to his destination safely. Uniformed officers will be closing all intersections along South 27th until Pence arrives safely. Then he'll go to his next destination on the north side of the city. Again, same procedure. Officers will close down all intersections along the way until Pence's arrival. He will make one more stop after that to the west end before arriving here at the DoubleTree around mid-afternoon. Now around 9 a.m. on Wednesday morning, several intersections here in downtown Billings will be closed for 24 hours. They will, however, be clearly marked by signs. The perimeter of the block of DoubleTree will be closed for 24 hours to any vehicular traffic. Foot traffic will still be allowed. Now anyone staying here at the DoubleTree will be allowed in and out. You will have to go through a screening process. It's going to be a busy day and busy 24 hours while Vice President Mike Pence is visiting, and you can see they've already closed down the parking lot here at the DoubleTree. We will keep you updated on air and online with all live coverage. Make sure you tune in. Back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Zoe.
And tomorrow there is also going to be some closures on I-90 westbound between the Lockwood exit and Zoo Drive. That'll close as the motorcade passes by.
And I-90 eastbound will close as the motorcade leaves Zoo Drive and returns to King Avenue. All of tomorrow's events are closed to the public.
Well, Thursday, the Vice President, along with the Second Lady, will travel to Yellowstone National Park following their overnight stop here in Billings. Air Force Two is scheduled to arrive at Yellowstone Airport at 10 a.m. Thursday. The Vice President will tour the park with current Director of Interior, David Bernhardt. Pence will stop at Old Faithful and give remarks about the Trump administration's support to rebuild national park infrastructure. Later that night, the Vice President will return to D.C.
Now, the presidential election may be more than a year and a half away, but it's President Trump versus Joe Biden in Iowa tonight. CBS News correspondent Natalie Brandt has the latest on the barbs they're trading.
Biden, who's a loser.
All day long, President Trump lashed out at Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden at the White House.
He looks different than he used to. He acts different than he used to. He's even slower than he used to be.
And while visiting a renewable energy company in Iowa.
He mentions my name 74 times in one speech. I don't know. That reminds me of Crooked Hillary.
The former vice president had his own retorts at a community event in Iowa.
I believe that the president is literally an existential threat to America.
At Iowa Wesleyan University.
He quotes Kim Jong-un saying, I agree with him. He's right about Biden.
And while campaigning in Davenport.
Quote, I have complete power. No, you don't, Donald Trump.
The intense focus on each other comes as a national poll from Quinnipiac University shows Biden has a 13-point lead over President Trump. Other polls put Biden on top of a very crowded field of 24 Democratic contenders. Many of them were also in Iowa this week. The war of words between the president and the Democratic frontrunner may just be starting. The Iowa caucuses are almost 8 months away. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, Washington.
And CBS News has learned internal polling by President Trump's campaign has Biden leading in several key states. Those include Florida, North Carolina, and Arizona.
Well, important information tonight for residents of Warden and Ballentine, especially if you have an infant.
Officials have issued a tap water warning after testing showed high levels of nitrate. The warning is specifically for infants 6 months and under and says they should not drink water, juice, formula, or other products made from tap water.
Water and Sewer District officials say the water is safe for all others to drink, but pregnant women should consult with a doctor. Nitrate contamination comes from agricultural, industrial, and natural sources, including septic systems and runoffs.
Well, the district has increased monitoring and is working with the DEQ for a solution. Bottled water is available at the district's main office in Warden.
All right, we want to turn to weather now. Bob, we're almost halfway through June, almost to the start of summer. How are we going to end spring?
Well, Neil, right now we're currently right on the money. Our average temperature this time of year is right on mid-70s, and that's where we're at right now. But things are going to change. Take a look at this. Let's talk about precipitation first. Look at that. All through southern Montana and much of the Great Basin area, we are expecting wetter than normal precipitation amounts coming in June 18th through the 24th. A little farther to the north, also a little wetter than normal, but just not as wet as what we will see in the southern part of the state. And let's talk about the temperatures. Well, yeah, June 18th through the 24th, above average temperatures in western Montana, back here in the Billings area, and much of south central Montana and the southeast. We are expecting cooler than normal temperatures. And as we said, 75 is where we're at about right now, and we are expecting to see things cool down a little bit as we finish up the month of June. So we'll see what happens about July and August. We'll probably, Mother Nature likes to balance the books every now and then. We'll see what happens then. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks so much, Bob.
Coming up on tonight's 10 o'clock news, they may be making bank, but when it comes to protecting that green, the pot industry has to get creative. We'll take a look.
Plus, millions of bees made a mighty buzz over in Bozeman last night. We'll check out the latest on the hives.
And in sports, it's Montana against North Dakota Saturday on the football field. Scott checks in on your local All-Stars in Miles City.
You're watching MTN News with Jeanelle Slade and Russ Riesinger. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire. And sports with Scott Breen. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.